Unik sungguh bunyinya, mungkin semua bertanya, apakah artinya atau dari mana? Susah untuk bicara, banyak nadi kata, rentak membawa arti, aku anak Asia. Kele semua kele, kele beramai-ramai, kele abang adik baru kita sampai. Kele semua kele, kele beramai-ramai, kele abang adik baru kita sampai. Rembang dang-kong 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 dang-kong, dang-kong 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 dang-kong, dang-kong 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 dang-kong, dang-kong 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 dang-kong. Rembang jemput terus ke Malaysia, jangan membuang masa, mari ikut rentak buka kebak terus rembang. Dang-kong 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 dang-kong, dang-kong 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 dang-kong. Merentah dunia, tujuan mencari rentak yang istimewa untuk dipelajari. Sungguh ku suka cita bila ku dapati rentak yang ku mencari adanya di sini. Rembang kele semua kele, kele beramai-ramai, kele abang adik baru kita sampai. Kele semua kele, kele beramai-ramai, kele abang adik baru kita sampai. Jemput terus ke Malaysia, jangan membuang masa, mari ikut rentak buka kebak terus rembang. Kele semua kele, kele beramai-ramai, kele abang adik baru kita sampai. Rembang kele semua kele, kele beramai-ramai, kele abang adik rentak baru kita sampai. Rembang kele semua kele, kele beramai-ramai, kele abang adik rentak baru kita sampai. Rembang dang 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 dang. Rembang dang 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 dang. Rembang dang 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 dang. Rembang dang 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 dang. Rembang
老板要吃什么粥？Disgusting.
What are you wearing?
Uniform?
This year, it's more crucial than ever to let every LGBTQ person in this country know they are not alone. While we are not able to get together to show our love and support, we can still declare our solidarity by turning the lights in our homes and workplaces pink. While the journey ahead may prove long and arduous, we can still make a stand today for what we know is right. Let's bring out the pink lights this June. Let's light the way to a more open-minded, more inclusive Singapore.
We're back!
Hello, happy Pink
Happy
Dot,
Pink Dot, everyone!
Yes, hi. It's me, Pam Wee,
And me, Harris Zaidi.
and above us is James
Our
Ong.
interpreter. Hi, James. He's our sign language interpreter.
Hi.
Welcome, everyone, to the live stream of Pink Dot 30.
Welcome, welcome, welcome. Harris, I have to say, you something going on here. What's happening? There's a lot of pink xiao ding dangs around your neck.
Correct. This is my Xiaoting Tang Doraemon. Yeah,
Is it-
designed by the fabulous Bobby Luo of Super Freak Boutique.
Very
Right?
nice, very nice.
Amazing, right? And
Yes.
Pam, what are you wearing?
I am wearing Frederick Lee, and my hair by Leong, and our makeup
Our makeup
is by our trans sister Ginger Lynette.
Nice,
And
right? Nice, right?
This,
Wow,
this
wow,
is
wow.
very over, right? Look at this person. This is competition, okay? But you
When-
can also see what?
No lah, if you don't extra on Pink Dot set, then went to extra, right?
It's true. And you can see our audience behind here, all the pinkies, the plushies. They cannot make noise. It's very sad, but
Hello,
you can. It's very cute, right?
pinkies.
Look at this. Look at so very effort. You know, we've had such a roller coaster ride this year, and we had hoped that we would be together. By now, this in person, but we are living in a pandemic and things are very unpredictable. I was supposed to be performing my one-woman show, Fag Hag, on this very stage tonight, actually, but the show had to be postponed because of Phase 2 Heightened Alert, which actually the acronym is HA! You know, it's like we go Phase 2, Phase 3, HA! Bluff, you go back Phase 2. But I'm very pleased to announce that Fag Hag will be reopened on 1st July. Yay! This Fag Hag is going to be on stage again. So what to do? We have to adapt and change plans. And tonight we have converted the beautiful Wild Rice Theatre into our production set for the live stream tonight.
Okay, so this is the last weekend of Phase 2 Heightened Alert. You know, last year we did the first live broadcast. Okay lah, pandemic, I understand. But you know what? This year I'm really feeling it. I really miss being at Hong Lim Park. I miss the feeling. I miss just the atmosphere, right? But it's okay. The work still goes on. Life still goes on. Love still beams away. And we at Pink Dot are soldiering on to put together this amazing live stream, this love stream for you at home, bringing you some laughter, some joy, lots and lots and lots of love. But you know what, Pam? This is like my first time performing in an empty theatre. You know, and I'm finding it just a little bit quiet.
Okay, Harris Zaidi, we are in heightened alert. Heightened alert. So IMDA says no live audience on production sets, understand? But y'all can clap at home, right? Right? Can y'all guys just clap at home? I mean, don't worry, okay? We won't ask you to go to window and clap, don't worry. Let's hear some applause, please. Wow, can applause.
Walao, it's a little sad, Ken.
Yeah.
I'm used to more applause and cheer, can or not? Can we be more enthusiastic?
Okay, come more enthusiastic, please, more enthusiastic. I'm sorry. I am the Pink Dot countdown queen, Hong. So I want Pink Dot at Hong Lim Park kind of applause. Let's go!
Like that.
Can. This level of applause can. Actually, if you actually want to go to the window and clap, go ahead. Please go ahead. We can cheer each other on. By showing love and support to each other, we can get through this together.
And one of the ways we show our love and support is by lighting up our homes and workplaces in pink. And some of you have tagged us in photos of your home in pink, and it's just lovely. Look at that! Oh my God!
so
Tiong Bahru
nice.
represent again, right? And you know what? A little shade of pink just makes everything that much lovelier, I always say.
Indeed, indeed. And besides lighting up your homes and workplaces, you can also participate in the digital light up this year. Everyone can join in. So all you need to do is go to loveliveshere.pink.sg and register straight away.
Now.
And once you're there, yes, now. And once you're there, you can write a simple words of encouragement or love, and then indicate the area that you're in, you know, the drag and drop, that's right. So that when we unveil our digital light up, our community can see that there is love and support beaming from all parts of Singapore for them. You have until 9 p.m. to register, so please hurry up, hurry up. Go to loveliveshere.pink.sg and register right now.
Right. Every item in our program lineup today is put together with so much care and love, and we hope that you can feel it at home, beaming here from a Wild Rice Theatre.
Yes, we have 6 fabulous musical acts waiting to entertain you. Most of them are original songs by our very talented homegrown artists. And we have a tip jar. Our performers have been really affected by the pandemic, and they will really appreciate your tips. So if you want to tip any of our performers, you'll see a QR code when they're performing. Just scan that and tip away. And we also have a brand new talk show segment, very Oprah.
Oprah.
And we have 2 very special guests this year. And in the comment section, you can ask all the questions that you want.
Yeah, so stay tuned for the premiere of our animated films, documentaries, as well as collabs with Pretty Please, Rough Cuts, and Our Grandfather Story. And of course, another epic music video featuring our homegrown drag queens.
Oh my goodness, I cannot wait for that. Some of our volunteers have also been invited to watch us at the projector. Hello volunteers, are you there? Hey! Hi. We really hope to be able to see you in person soon. Okay, coming up next, we have 2 very dear friends who started entertaining us with their ukuleles during Circuit Breaker last year. She was among our first Pink Dot ambassadors in 2009, and he is one of the most prominent and recognizable faces in Singapore theatre. We present to you
The new Kele.
Everyone, I'm Neo Swee Lim.
I'm Lim Kay Siu.
With our ukuleles, we're the Neo Kele Lims. We're going to sing you an original song that he wrote.
I wrote this song about our love, hoping that our small romantic love could grow into a bigger love.
It can transform into a universal love for the world, for the environment, for each other, and for life. We wish you all love, for to us, love is the greatest thing. This is Together.
3, 4. I love that I talk like us in my head. I love that I've stored all the things that we said. Let's talk Swee Siu-nese instead. We love to lie in bed together. Ooh, yeah, together. Ooh, yeah. You know that I love all the things that we share.
Even the lies and admissions when we've dared.
I hope I can love you even after I'm dead. We love to hold hands and fly together. Let's play disguise together. We'll fly the sky,
Get really high.
we love to even cry together. Ooh, yeah, together. Ooh, yeah.
And when you loved me, love became real. A matter of fact, and not just a feeling.
Hey baby, let's get out of bed and share our love with those around us instead. Together, ooh, yeah, together, ooh, yeah. Come on, let's all love life together. Ooh, yeah. Come on, let's all love life together.
We can make Pink Dot together, everyone.
together. Alright! Happy Pink Dot, everyone! Lots of love!
I'm pretty pleased, Singapore's top ally. This Pink Dot, I'm gonna teach you the alphabet.
Nobody asked. Nobody asked. Literally nobody asked it.
A is for anyhow only. Can we stop anyhow assuming people's pronouns? Can we just ask someone what they want to be referred to as? It's just like how Lady Gaga tells us that her name is Lady Gaga, then we all just call her Lady Gaga, no questions asked. Same logic lah. B is for beautiful. So we all know that beauty standards are like made up, right? And you don't have to look a certain way to be beautiful.
You are beautiful. You are beautiful.
But I am damn beautiful. C is for coming out. So in the past year, some really iconic celebrities publicly came out. Right here in Singapore, I just want to shout out everyone who might have recently come out as well. In case you haven't and you're struggling to, just know that you always have a community that's ready to love and accept you for everything that you are. D is for discrimination. Unfortunately, still exists all around us. E is for equality. Excuse me, how to be an equal society when so many policies still work against the LGBTQ+ community? F is for freedom to love. Hello, when it comes to sexual orientation, everybody should be allowed to love whoever they want, okay? The only gay I don't love is Tao Gay. G is for gay. Some people still want to use the word gay as a slur. Excuse me, it's not gay if I'm crying because I watched Lilo and Stitch. I'm just crying because I have a soul. H is for human rights. Please don't forget, gay rights, lesbian rights, trans rights are all human rights. I is for intersectionality. It's how your gender or sexual orientation intersects with your class, race, religion, physical ability, and the list goes on. If your advocacy doesn't have room for those who are the most vulnerable based off these intersectionalities, then we must ask, what kind of advocacy is this? J is for justice. Now that the constitutional challenge is being decided in the courts, let's hope for justice to be upheld. K is for, okay, time to check out all these really important resources and avenue that you see on screen right now. L is for the legal guidebook for LGBT couples and families in Singapore. So this is available as an ebook online on this website, so check it out and be empowered with the information to protect yourselves under the law. M is for MediaCorp, with their constant misrepresentation of minority groups. So this character was a pedophile who molested teenage boys and also had an STD. Come on live, you're not going to be inclusive with your content or at least represent the community respectfully, then all I gotta say is N is for no thank you. The least that non-members of the LGBTQ+ community can do is to be an ally. And I don't mean some weird tokenistic crap like
I have gay friends.
I mean actually be inclusive and respectful in your everyday lives. Having a gay best friend is not an aesthetic. O is for oi, stare was stare. How come people so rude when members of the LGBTQ+ community show any form of physical affection to their partners in public, but then suddenly got double standard? They got tikope on the train, nobody say anything. P is for pretty please. Come, let me show you a couple of cute outfits I would have worn to Hong Lim Park if this year's Pink Dot was a physical event. Q is for Queer Trivia Night. Excuse me, why you haven't taken part yet? So I host Queer Trivia Night with Proud and the Katong Queers, and it's always super fun. Here are details for the next one. I will see you there. R is for Repeal 3778. Hello, what time already? My country already 160 on the World Press Freedom Index, and then now they also want to be last to repeal 3778 and decriminalize gay sex. Is it? S is for small. Remember the uncle who not happy with the pride flag at the store? This one not small thing, okay? This one big thing. Shout out to all the brands, stores and public figures who aren't afraid to just speak up for what you believe in. T is for the transgender student incident. Excuse me, can MOE focus on things that they are supposed to, like having an inclusive education system and teaching people life skills and things like compassion? U is for the United Nations Universal Periodic Review. On 12th of May, Singapore's head of delegation mentioned that the government does not tolerate discrimination and harassment against the LGBT community. They even cited Pink Dot as an example that the LGBTQ community is not discriminated. Talk so much, then every year pre-COVID already make it so difficult for Pink Dot to even exist. And then now you want to say, do not tolerate discrimination. V is for valued members of society. Our beloved Prime Minister has been pushing for foreign talent and even said that members of the LGBT community were seen as valued members of society. Aww, so sweet. Okay, now that you value them so much, how about you legalize gay marriage? W is for Wisan. I miss Wisan so much. So just so y'all know, he's been in the army since last November. Shout out all members of the LGBTQ plus community who are serving the nation right now. I hope it's not as painfully straight as the A Boys to Men movies. X is for Xie. Thank you to the team who fought tirelessly to challenge Section 377A. Y is for you, for attending Pink Dot 13 and for making it this far into this video. Z is for bye bye, I go sleep liao. Thank you for watching this video and happy Pink Dot.
For those of you who've just joined us, welcome to the live stream of Pink Dot 13. And you just missed Pretty Please with her new Nobody Asked video. Okay, so the comments are going in and we just want to give a shout out because we heard one. I'm clapping softly because my family is outside. It's okay, we can still feel you in our heart.
Yes, and if you have not registered at our digital light up, please go to loveliveshere.pink.sg. Once you're there at the site, you have to just write a few simple words of love and encouragement and then drag and drop and indicate where you are in Singapore so that when we unveil the big digital light up later, we can show the community that there is love shining for them from all corners of Singapore.
Pam, Pretty mentioned something about Universal Periodic Review in her video. I mean, what is that about?
Okay, so the UPR is where the Human Rights Council of the UN reviews the human rights record of Singapore. But can you believe that the Singapore's head delegate used Pink Dot as an example of how the LGBTQ community don't face any discrimination in Singapore? Hello?
Hello? I mean, the reason why we do Pink Dot precisely because we still experience discrimination. And we do Pink Dot every year because there's still so much work to be done.
Yes, I have been Countdown Queen for 13 years. The Pink Dot that we form every year is a symbol of the community believing that things will get better. A reminder that we have to do better by each other. Anyway, if you want to know more about the UPR, you can scan the QR code on the screen right now.
Right. I will be talking to Andrea Razali in a few moments. Andrea is the reigning Miss International Queen Singapore, and she'll be here to share with us her experience growing up and living as transgender in Singapore. So if you have any questions for Andrea, type in your questions at the live comments.
You know, there are many pink windows lit tonight, and every pink window tells a little story. Tonight, we want to go behind two pink windows that feature initiatives from within the community that help one another.
Behind the first window is the story of Kun and Cohen and the Alicia Community Centre. But before that, an animated film from a voice of a transgender student.
For 18 years, I've been told to live my life as a boy. Of those years, only one of them I managed to live my inner self the way I want to. I couldn't care less what others see me as. I have friends who love me for what they think I am. The school route through the counselors seemed like the simplest. But I left with a piece of paper barely able to help me. A month after my national service enlistment, it would take too long to go into the trouble it was to save myself from a flawed system. And the surprise I felt when I realized that the people in the system too were kind. I'm not going to ask for kindness. I only ask that you make better use of your time rather than sending hate my way. You have friends who care for you, yes? If you ever run into someone like me, remember that I am human too.
Life, there's always a sense that there was something not right with me. Constantly, I was acting as myself, and people would say, "Why are you acting like this? Why are you walking like this?" And it always mortifies me. It's of like, oh, okay, I didn't know I was doing something wrong. So when I came to secondary school, my body changing, so in a way that was just hard to accept. It was not the way I identified. I just shut myself off. I couldn't focus on my studies. I retreated into a corner, all the time writing in my diary, like, what is wrong with me? I even turned to religion, because my family is Christian, to find an answer, and nothing worked and nothing helped. And as a result, I predictably did really badly for my A-levels. So serendipitously, I was just walking through a book fair, at the expo, and I found this book, just on a heap, and it was called Cries from Within. And it was co-written by this doctor called S.S. Ratnam and Victor Go. And it had a picture of, on the cover, of a man in a suit, and so he was looking very depressed and very troubled, and then there was a harsh light thrown on him, and the shadow on the wall was a woman's shadow. I picked it up and looked at it, and for the first time in my life, I had the words. I could see that I was not going through this alone. I was just like, oh my God, I'm not crazy. I didn't have to live this fake life anymore. And so that's the moment when I came out to my family, finally. And I said, look, I'm so sorry. But I think this is me. And I burst into tears. And I always felt like I was failing them. But my mother looked at the book very quickly. She looked back at me and she said, don't be scared. We will figure this out.
Compare Gwen and me, she has a family support. Yeah. For me, where I do not have the family support, I have to go a longer road. I have to spend more money, I have to depend on myself, to make it alive. Yeah. Coming from a very typical conservative family, my family actually does not address me by my preferred pronouns, my preferred name. It will take them quite a while to get it, but slowly but surely they will get there. For the trans community, if they are not well supported when they are younger, they tend to drop out earlier in school. So we do have youths who drop out when they are Sec 2, Sec 3, because they do not feel comfortable, schooling in public schools. To be able to support the trans community, Alicia Community Centre, beginning of this year, we just started our first study support scheme. So we will have weekly classes over here for each subject. And we do N, O, and A levels for the trans community, trans youth.
And I think if we have a safe space where people can express themselves, speak their minds, learn from others, you learn about yourself and decide for yourself the journey you want to take. We're hoping that with the ACC and the help that Trans Befrienders are offering to youths, kids today are able to meet their potential, that they are able to find the support that's lacking in institutions that are supposed to support them, but are probably failing them every day in little ways that they're not even aware of. As I participated in Pink Dot was to really to say that I'm being counted, shining a light into the darkness, to say, count me in when we can finally get the government to understand that all we want to do is get on with our lives on equal footing with the rest of society.
There's nothing you can
I'm sticking to my guy like a stem to a letter, like the birds of a feather. We stick together. I'm telling you from the start, I can't be torn apart from my guy. I got sunshine on a cloudy day. When it's cold outside, I got the month of May. Hey, I guess you'd say, what can make me feel this way, my boy? Talking about my boy. I got so much honey, the bees envy me. I got the sweetest song, and the birds in the trees. Hey, I guess you'd say, what can make me feel this way, my boy? Talking about my boy. Talking about my boy. Talking about my boy, my boy. 1, 2, 3, 4. 我要你的爱，你为什么不走过来？我要你的爱，你为什么不说出来？为什么不说出来？为什么不说出来？
That was Joshua Simon with his medley of My Guy, My Girl and 我要你的爱. And it just so happens that today is Joshua's birthday. So happy birthday, Joshua! Okay, so this is shameless plug. I just want to do a shout out to My Guy, My Girls. Hi Pao, hi Pao Pei, 我也要你的爱. Okay. So our first guest tonight is Andrea Razali, the reigning Miss International Queen Singapore. Andrea is also an entrepreneur with her own beauty line, Andrea and Weave. Let's take a look. Andrea is the first Singaporean trans woman to appear on the cover of prestigious international publications like L'Officiel and the New York Times Style magazine, and was crowned Miss International Queen Singapore 2020. With 13 years of experience in the beauty industry, Andrea also runs her own beauty empire and uses her voice and influence to speak up for her community. I'm so very excited to introduce to you our very first guest for tonight, Andrea Razali. Yay!
Thank you so much, Harris, for having me on the show. Such an honor to be here.
My pleasure. I just wanted to say that the very first time we met was like years ago. And you were doing makeup for my husband.
Exactly.
Before we were going to a rice ball. And,
exactly.
And here we are at the Wild Rice Theatre. Isn't it so funny?
It's so funny. It's like a full circle. And I did makeup for him and he went with a star on his face, I think.
Yeah, exactly. Because Kiss ma.
Yeah, he went as Kiss.
Right,
exactly, he went as Kiss.
Exactly. Okay, so Andrea, We've heard the stories shared by Cohen and Cohen in the documentary before this. I mean, I for one am so glad that this very powerful narrative is being shared with all our audiences right now. I just wanted to ask, how do you relate? How did it make you feel when you heard their stories?
Well, Harris, this is a narrative that a lot of Singaporean trans youth have to go through when they go to school. For me, when I went to school, it was not a very positive experience. It was actually very isolating. When I went to school, I felt a lot of fear. I felt a fear of coming out to my peers and my school teachers because I felt like they just couldn't get me. They just wouldn't understand because they were cisgender. And on top of that, the Singaporean education system does not work in favor for trans youths. I feel like Singaporean trans youths have to basically put themselves aside, put their dreams of becoming themselves and becoming their true selves aside in order to finish their education. For me, I had to live life as a cisgender male for 23 years so that I could graduate. And I think that's a narrative that a lot of Singaporean trans youths shouldn't have to go through. They shouldn't have to make that decision. On top of that, transgender representation in Singapore is basically non-existent. So due to lack of representation of trans people in Singapore and women like me in Singapore, I feel like the Singaporean society has a very negative narrative of trans people, and because of that, trans people who are not out are afraid to live the truth. And to be honest, for me, the reason why I decided to come out and just go through with whatever I've done and go through my transition is because I really wanted to find true happiness. I wanted to experience what it's like to finally be in the body that I've always wanted to be in. And I firmly believe that the longest journey starts with a single step. And here I am now on the inaugural Pink Dot stage next to another queen.
Oh my God, and here we are. You know, when I first met you, you haven't transitioned.
Yes.
Yeah, and you were a very talented boy. And now look at you.
Oh, thank
Amazing
you.
crown.
Thank you so much.
International Queen, Singapore.
Thank you, Harris.
So you have this platform and you're an entrepreneur, you run your own business.
Exactly.
How do you use this platform that you have to champion this cause?
Well, Harris, it's 2021 and transgenders now, we want to be seen, we want to be heard, and we now have a voice. So what I'll do is I will use my platform to shed light on the issues that transgenders face on the daily, and also politically. I will basically use my voice and my platform to tell all these trans youths that don't afraid to be yourself, don't afraid to be who you want to be. Have the courage to go ahead with what you want to do, because there will be people behind you. Find people who support you, who love you for who you are. Find people to empower you in whatever you want to do, because the longest journey starts with a single step, and that journey starts with you.
Wow, power girl, power. Very good, very good, very good, very good, very good. Okay, so lately we've heard, stories, the transgender issue is coming right there, front, right and center. I'm glad, right? And I wanted to ask you, as a community, as a society, as a country, what can we do to make it safer, to make it a kinder place for the transgenders in Singapore?
So I'm just going to share with you a story about that. So in the corporate world, transgenders face a lot of discrimination, Harris. There's so much discrimination against transgenders in the workplace. I myself have experienced it myself. I've had so many corporate doors slammed in my face in the corporate world. And I think this is a narrative that has to stop, because many transgenders come to me and say, Andrea, I don't really like the job that I'm doing but I have to do it anyway because I'm trans and no one else will accept me for who I am. Nowhere else will accept me for who I am. And I firmly believe that transgenders have hopes and dreams just like everyone else, And I feel like equality is for everyone. I feel like equality is a human right and it's not something which is a privilege. On top of that, transgenders are not part of the nation's fabric, and it's so sad. I haven't heard of any stories of transgender people who have made it, who are successful, be broadcasted in the mainstream media. And that is so disappointing. I feel like that narrative needs to change because transgenders are here now. We are present and we are out and we want to be proud.
Yeah. And not only are we here, we are on the cover of L'Officiel, a New York Times star. Wow, cover girl. Wow.
High five.
Love it, love it, love it, love it. Okay, so here's the part where we're looking out whether we have any questions for you, because if we don't, at the corner of my eye while we were talking the whole time, then some more pageant queen, right? And my eye was like, what is that shiny thing on the table there, that shiny thing over the table there? I was like, you brought your tiara.
I did, I brought my Miss
Oh my gosh, so
Queen crown.
you know what? I have to do this. You know, it was just an amazing story.
Oh my God.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is my sublime honor to crown Andrea Razali Miss International Queen Singapore. Oh my God, so emotional. Darling, cannot, COVID. Like, okay, cannot cry, mascara. Oh my God.
Thank you so much, Harris.
It was such a pleasure having you here, darling.
It was such a pleasure to be on the show.
Ladies and gentlemen, and everybody out there, Andrea Razali, everybody. Now, in the next segment, we will go behind another pink window where we will see the good work done by Alaric Tan, the founder of the Greenhouse. Now, before that, a short animation about a rainbow family.
Sometimes people ask me what my dad does. I'm very honest and tell them I don't have one. But often, I don't feel I need to explain. So I tell them nothing, because I don't have to explain my family all the time. There was one time in preschool when my teacher read a story that had something to do with my family. The book was called And Tango Makes Three, which was about two real-life male penguins in the New York Zoo who raised a chick together. At the end of the story, my friends all turned round and pointed at me. It felt like a moment of recognition rather than being singled out. But still, I had to correct them. I have two mums, not two penguins. And the whole class burst out laughing. When I remember this incident, I feel really touched by my teacher's efforts to go to the National Library on the weekend and borrow the book. Now that I'm a teenager, a lot of my friends think it's really cool to have two mums. But sometimes I still get really annoyed by my mothers, not because they're lesbians, but because they always stop me from eating sugar and always cut my YouTube time. I know they want less screen time for my own good. I love being with my family. We challenge and make each other grow to be better people. I don't think it feels different from any other family.
I'm 42 years old, Singaporean gay male. From a very young age, I felt like I was living a double life and I needed my parents to know who I am. And when I told my parents, my dad was in shock. They were really hurt, they were very disappointed. And after a while, they decided that, let's help him to get better by having his sexual orientation changed. They sent me for conversion therapy, where I was told that it's not okay to be me. And I started developing clinical depression. I have attempted suicide before. I tried overdosing on medications. And after a few years of that, I started using drugs. I wanted other people who were in my position to have this opportunity to recover as well. There's still a lot of stigma and discrimination out there, so it felt like the right thing to do. 25 years after the conversion therapy, for the first time in my life, I told my mother what she did was not okay. I told her that the people that she sent me to were not good people, and that what they did to me caused a lot of harm. And it took me so long just to speak up for myself that this thing that you did hurt me. And my mom let me know that she's sorry and that she knows that I'm in a lot of pain. My dad passed away quite a few years ago. He didn't live long enough to see me recover, but he worked very hard to support us, which is why we could take this risk to invest in this place. The caregivers group was here, mainly mothers of people struggling with drug use. I told my mom during the celebrations, look at what we built together. Don't you think that Dad would be so happy? I wanted her to feel like she was a part of not just mine, but the family's healing. I realized that I'm not a victim, that I'm actually a trauma survivor. I'm way more resilient than I ever imagined. The work that I do is meaningful. Just seeing somebody who came to our center feeling very broken, have the light come on in their eyes again. We can love and accept and support each other even if we don't always understand.
Aeriqah. This is Renee. Thank you for having us here, Pink Dot. We're gonna do a song of mine called All That Matters, and I hope you enjoy. You think the world would stop with you, but it keeps going. Even when you stopped moving, and I used to believe I controlled the universe, but I don't, and I'll never know. Why am I so tired of myself? Why does this body not feel like mine? I'm trying so hard. I'm trying so damn hard. I'm trying. How do I restart? I used to believe I was the enemy, but now I think maybe there's something else against me, and I don't know where I'm going. Is anything happening, or am I lying to myself? Why am I so tired of myself? Why does this Thank you.
Thank you, Aeriqah. Now, we've heard some beautiful stories of LGBTQ people having the support of family and friends around them. Now, without the support of allies, facing this discrimination every day would be unbearable.
You know, we've been saying for 13 years that LGBTQ community needs allies in our fight against discrimination. In the past year alone, we have seen very overt cases of discrimination against the LGBTQ community, like the ripping and throwing of the pride flag and the poor handling of transgender students.
Yeah, and more recently, there have been cases of discrimination that have been racially motivated, like anyhow turn people's wedding photos into cutout standees, a mixed-race couple being confronted in public for no good reason, and even the mocking of people's religious rituals. Now, this is really not okay at all, and this is not how Singapore should be.
It has been a very challenging year, and we want to acknowledge the hurt that our minority brothers and sisters face, even within our own LGBTQ community. We stand in solidarity with you. Discrimination for any reason, whether it's by virtue of one's gender, sexual orientation, skin color, or religious beliefs, is not okay.
Equality is for everyone. We must do better.
You know, we may be in this heightened alert phase away from each other, but we can stay connected and support each other by participating in the digital light up. So it's last call already, last call. So everyone, please head over to loveliveshere.pink.sg. Hurry up, leave your message of love so that we can unveil a lot of pink lights later.
Exactly. So when we unveil the digital light up later, we will show all of Singapore our solidarity even in these very difficult times.
Yes, and I will be speaking to Remy Chu, one of the lawyers involved in the recent constitutional challenge of Section 377A. Now, we will get updates from him on what's happening with this challenge, and if you have anything you want to ask him, please put your comments, your question in the comments section, and I'll try my best to make him answer it. He's very clever.
Next, we have a very special preview of a collab between Pink Dot and Rough Cuts. Now, as you guys know, Pink Dot has been going on for 13 years now, and many of the voices heard today are very young and woke.
Yes, but have you ever wondered what it must have been like 20, 30 years ago when things were so different? Now, in this video, 3 activists from different generations share their thoughts about the LGBTQ rights advocacy in Singapore, so please take a look.
So one day I was sent to have lunch with Lee Kuan Yew. There I was telling Lee Kuan Yew that I was gay. Straits Times people know I'm not hiding it, but I think they were probably taken back that I would just say to Mr. Lee Kuan Yew like that. It wasn't like there were fireworks. Things just went smoothly as a lunchtime conversation. But of course, when I went back to the Straits Times, the newsroom, news spread like wildfire. Russell told Lee Kuan Yew he's gay.
I'm actually curious how you managed to figure out or like put a term to your sexuality or gender identity without internet back in the days. I had never heard of the term LGBT up until I was Sec 2. There was no representation at all in media. Sexuality education is still very heteronormative and restricted.
I grew up in the 70s and 80s. My late mom was a religious teacher. Those were the days where everything is very strict for me. Growing up in a conservative Muslims environment, there's no such thing as acronym of LGBT or anything of that sort.
Growing up in the 1960s and being gay, you just lived with it. Your friends, your classmates also don't seem to mind very much. Sometimes there were opportunities you could flirt with the other boys, which we did. But my generation, in the first half of our childhood, the term gay wasn't what it's supposed to mean today. Gay was just happy. We had gay world. The term probably only emerged as a term for homosexuals in the mid-60s.
in 2018, that was when like the Ready for Repeal movement surfaced. And there was a news article that was released around that time about how LGBTQ plus people in Singapore don't experience discrimination in workplace, schools. It is important for LGBTQ plus people to share stories of discrimination. For people like that to realize that discrimination actually exists. On 26 January this year, 5 of us, we went down to the MOE HQ, stood there with very pretty placards to raise awareness about the issue of transgender discrimination against students, especially in MOE schools. We were standing there for about 5 to 10 minutes before a whole swarm of police officers just like crowded in front of us.
We went through that kind of fear also in the 1990s. An incident called Rascals happened. Rascals is the name of a disco. Every Sunday, it's gay night. In May 1993, the police raided the place. They asked to see everybody's IC, and those who didn't bring their IC with them were taken to the police station. Gay people were very angry, and some 20 of them decided to write a letter to the police precinct. The law in Singapore doesn't oblige you to carry your IC at all times. Surprise, surprise. A letter came back to apologize for it. So it kind of gives you a sense of, in today's language, a sense of empowerment.
For me, like my goal is to get personally involved in the stakes of our nation's politics. I think it is important to have a voice for communities who are commonly overlooked in our current society, to have that voice in our leadership of this country.
One thing is common between us is we want to be inclusive. We want whole society to accept us. I hope that the future generations, when I pass this baton to them, they will do it very well, which I'm very optimistic it can be done.
There is hope for gay activism in Singapore and a better future for gay people in Singapore. It's a wonderful thing. The younger generation has taken over and taken the ball and run with it. So it's good to watch what they can do, a fresh injection of ideas and of energy.
I've been pushed, I've been broken, been stripped, my words unspoken. I've been high, I've been low, fallen and picked myself without low. You can teach, you can lie, you can judge all you want. Oh, you know I won't surrender. Was at the end of the line, last of the cry. Put up a hell of a fight. I tried, oh. I'm waiting for it. I'm waiting for it. I'm waiting for a change. I've been putting on a show, but the scars, you know, they don't lie to. Under a mask, behind a shadow, just forcing feelings in a bottle. Go on and take it to the limit, bring the darkness, let me in, and but oh, you know I won't let it take me. Was at the end of the line, last of the cry. It's been a hell of a ride, but swallow my pride. No. I'm waiting for it. I'm waiting for it. I'm
And that was Kyo, Waiting for a Change. I'm also waiting for a change. Kyo, we wait together. How cool is she? How cool is this person, okay? She was on vocals and keyboard and guitar and drums also. Now, this song, Waiting for a Change, is now available on all leading digital stores. At this point, I just want to say a shout out to my son, who's also a drummer. Monkey, look at that. It's got the 4 instruments together, okay? You can do that. Hello, Monkey. Hello, Babs. Okay? That was great. She is so cool. And I know the chat was going crazy with Momo, cat, yay, pride cat, Momo came back. Hello, Momo, you are becoming an icon, you know. Momo is stealing the show, by the way. Okay, back to me. Okay, you will see that there's a tip jar. Please leave a generous tip for all the performers. Don't shy, leave a tip, okay? And I also want to say a shout out to all our volunteers at the projector. They did my signature move, Pam with the cover, uncover. So cute, right? They not in Hong Leong Park, they also own self do. So cute. Next up, we are going to have Remy Chu join us. He will talk about the 377A constitutional challenge in court. But before that, let's take a look.
In September 2019, 3 challenges against Section 377A were filed in the Singapore High Court. This was the second time such lawsuits were filed in Singapore, and they asked the High Court to declare the colonial-era law unconstitutional. The High Court dismissed the challenges in March 2020, and the cases were heard again in the Court of Appeal in January 2021. Judgment is currently pending. To tell us more, we have Remy Chu, a lawyer who has worked on both constitutional challenges against Section 377A.
Welcome, Remy.
Hi, Pam.
Welcome to Pink Dot.
Thanks a lot.
I must say that you look very different than your lawyer black and white suit. Now, like very cash. It's called Pink Dot, Pink Dot, huh?
Prettier?
Yeah. Good. Thank you so much for coming. Now, there are a few questions I have for you. And if any of you out there have a question for Remy, please put it in the comment section and we'll try our best to answer it. But first, I just want to say, can you, in very, very layman terms, explain to our viewers who are not lawyers, which is a lot of them, how a constitutional challenge works?
Sure. So, you know, the Constitution is like the mother of all laws.
Oh, okay.
So the Constitution is supposed to be supreme. Okay. And every other law is supposed to be consistent with the Constitution. Otherwise, a couple of things can happen. Otherwise, it can be struck down, it can be modified, or it can be interpreted in a way to make it consistent with the Constitution. What the Constitution does, it sets out a bunch of rights and protections, one of which is equality before the law. And so the 377A case is really simple. In essence, it says that 377A, a law that makes an individual criminal just by virtue of who he loves and how he loves that person, that law is not consistent with the equality protection under the Constitution, and so it should be struck down.
And so it should. Okay, thank you for explaining that to me. And I just want to say that there were 2 other challenges in 2014 that were not successful. And many people are wondering why the 3 plaintiffs launched another challenge just 5 years later. How come?
Yeah, okay. So we'll take a step back and put it in context, right? There are 195 countries in the world, and Singapore is 1 out of 69 that still keeps laws like 377A. What has happened between 2014 and 2019 is quite a few countries have stopped using laws like 377A.
Okay.
So Singapore is one of a group of 3 types of countries that keep laws like this. The first, African countries, the second, Middle Eastern countries, and the third, that does overlap with the first 2 groups, are former British colonies. And what happened between 2014 and 2019 is the Indian Supreme Court, in a country of 1.36 billion people, declared 377 of the Indian Penal Code unconstitutional and struck it down. At around the same time, you have other former British colonies like Trinidad and Tobago and Botswana that also struck down laws like 377A. And so the feeling in 2019 was, it's time for Singapore, a country that prides itself on being ahead of the curve, to take the plunge and put 377A in the dustbin of history where it belongs.
Definitely, that is exactly where it belongs, in the dustbin. So I just want to ask, this is a really mammoth challenge. Why did you and the other lawyers take on this challenge?
Yeah, for me it's kind of personal. I did one of the challenges in 2014 too. And as the world has changed since then, some things in my life changed too. And one of the things that changed was I came out. I wasn't out in 2014 when I took the first set of cases. By the time I took on the 2019 case, I was happy to tell anyone who'd care to ask that I was out and I was proud. And personally, it means so much to be able to bring my whole self to this piece of litigation, especially for other people who don't have the privilege of coming out the way I did. I thought it was really important for me to represent.
Oh, absolutely. Thank you so much for coming out, because I think this is a very important action and message for people who are still struggling to come out, who are waiting to come out, who are afraid to come out. So I applaud you.
Thank you.
And I heard that you are single?
And ready to mingle.
He's got a husky, people. He's got a very, very cute husky. Single, darling, single. This is what fact hacks do. Okay, Remy, maybe one more question for me. What do you think of the current position that our government is taking, which is to keep the law but not enforce it?
Right. Okay. Pam, the same way love is love, discrimination is discrimination, whatever you call it. And to call a group of people criminals just because of who they are and how they express their love, that's discrimination. And the same way you can't be a little bit pregnant, being separate but equal before the law, that's not a thing.
Yeah.
Discrimination is discrimination, and it matters. It matters because not just to gay men, but to the broader LGBTQ community too. It's the thin end of the wedge. And I'll give you one example. Andrea just now was talking about media portrayals of trans people. Mm-hmm. And because 377A makes gay men criminals, it also gives the government and media authorities the excuse to block out and to censor any positive portrayals of LGBTQ people in the media. And what does this mean just to regular people? We were looking at the comments just now, and there was someone saying, my parents are outside, so I can't type too loudly, right? What this means for kids who are being bullied, who are different, who are lonely, is they can't sit down and watch the same TV with their parents on MediaCore and see images of themselves as whole, as healthy, and as accepted. And it's damaging. It's really damaging.
Yes, I totally agree, and we definitely need to remove this law. I'm looking at a question now from our viewer. The judge asked how we can ensure future admin takes same stance as current government. That law won't be enforced. Does this give us hope? Okay, I'm trying to understand this with no punctuation. The judge asked how we can enforce future admin takes same stance as I see. So how can we ensure that future admins will not do what the government says it's going to do, which is not enforce the law?
Well, the simple fact is, as long as the law is on the books, the police can investigate, even if the government says they're not going to prosecute, right? So having law on the books that is there but not enforced, this is a fiction, okay? Yeah. But the last point I make is this. The constitutional challenge, it's important, not just because of the law it's trying to repeal, but because of the message it's trying to make, right? We talked about representation in the media. And the challenge is one way that queer people have an opportunity to take back the narrative and to tell the story on our own terms, right? And that's why Pink Dot's important, I think, because it's that one time in the year that we get to tell our stories on our own terms. And it's important for the kids who are lonely, who are scared, to see us speak and tell those stories, right? And when we light up, they look at lights and they know they're not alone.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes, absolutely. That's what Pink Dot is all about, to show people that they are not alone. Thank you so much, Remy,
Thanks,
for joining me tonight. Yay, Remy Chu, everybody! If you want to know more about the constitutional challenge, you can scan the QR code that is on the screen. Thank you so much for being with us. Now, coming up in the next segment, we will premiere a collaboration between Our Grandfather's Story and Pink Dot. And Charlie Lim will also sing for us the song that he performed on National Day last year, Room at the Table.
Okay. Were you ashamed when I first came out to you?
My answer is that no, I'm not. But I was a bit surprised. It happened that there's someone in my family is LGBT. While I was actually working in Thailand, Chiang Mai, the company I work in, they have a lot of these sort of people. They are so open. Actually, the first thought actually was like, why it happened to all these people? But after getting to know them, it's not that they want to, but they have no choice, some of them. So when she brought it up, immediately saying that she's a lesbian, I paused for a while because I think it took a lot of courage for her to bring it out to me. She may think that I will get upset, angry. I say, no matter how, you're still my child. I will accept. And in fact, not only that, I'll support you.
What went through your mind?
A lot of relief, I think. He's like...
Of course.
That's the big hurdle, right? When you're coming out, the first thing is your immediate family. What are they going to say? But when they do accept you, it's like a weight off your shoulders. You feel like, okay, you know, if people in my school or people at work don't accept me, you know, at least my dad accepts me.
Did you find it difficult to accept your sexuality?
Oh my gosh. I mean, I think if you ask anyone who is LGBT, they will tell you yes, like, definitely. When I was in like secondary school, I think that was when I started to realize, yeah, I really am a lesbian. And then I also realized that I like to dress more masculine. So I know I stand out, you know? And that obviously has a lot of fear along with it.
Yeah, people will ask me, your daughter chooses this sort of life, you don't feel bad? Maybe send her to some kind of psychology or something like that. Maybe there is a chance that she might reverse her thinking. I say no. I mean, why do I need to sort of put this stress on them? Who are you to tell me she is my daughter, not your daughter?
So I can remember there was this Chinese New Year, and then I had my hair very short at that time, and one of my uncles, he actually like asked me, how come you cut your hair like that? And then my dad said, yeah, what's wrong with that? Very trendy now.
Yeah.
And then after that, the uncle like, okay, like keep quiet. I feel like as long as my dad is there, I feel protected. I feel like, okay, I can get through the Chinese New Year.
They are telling me is that they find so surprised that I can accept this easily. I say it's not a matter of accept it so easily. It's just that I do not want to hurt them at all. I love my children very much. Let them do what they want, lead their own life. I'm not going to be there for forever to look after them. So wherever they choose to be, they will have to be responsible for themselves. And so long as they're happy, I'm happy too. Do you think I have fully accepted you?
Yes, I mean, yeah, I feel like no matter what I say, what I come to you with is like, you have never rejected me for any reason. I think that maybe there's certain things you don't understand fully, but time and time again, you always make the effort to listen and to learn. Quite a while ago, but you told me that you're gonna watch RuPaul's Drag Race, and then you asked me, what does queer mean? I think to me it really meant a lot because I felt like you were really making the effort to go and learn about like the community that I am part of. I mean, it just really makes a difference. Okay. So, what is something you want me to know?
What can I say? I love you so much. I will not let any hurt come to you. This is what I want to tell you. That's the reason why I accept you as you are. And no matter whatever happens, you still have your daddies here to protect you. So just live your life. Go with it. Don't worry about what other people say.
I love you so very much, and I'm very thankful that you are you're so loving to me and my sister also. That you would never reject us for any reason, and you really give us that unconditional love. And because of that, it makes both me and Tete very secure.
I love you.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I'm okay.
How many times have you heard them say the future is uncertain and everything must change? But all of my worries and all of my fears begin to lose their weight when I hold you near. If all that we are is what we believe, then I know I gotta be the change I wanna see. How easy we forget that everything takes time. No, nothing's ever perfect, but I still call you mine. Through all the years, every lesson learned, when each word can be a blessing, to listen is to love. Can we afford to be kinder to others and ourselves? There's always room at the table and water from the well. And I know a house doesn't make a home, but you're never really lost when you're never alone. I know a house doesn't make a home. May the stories that bind us bring new strength throw us to hope. I'll be living for the day where our differences, they make us whole. taps. Have you heard them say the future isn't certain and everything must change?
Thank you, Charlie, for that very beautiful song. You know, every LGBTQ relationship is built on the foundation of love and trust. And so many of my LGBTQ friends work very hard to build and maintain this love and trust, and yet our country won't recognize their relationships. And that's why I keep coming back to Pink Dot every year, year after year, so that one day, every relationship that is built on the same foundation of love and trust will be recognized in Singapore.
We have to continue to be there for each other, empower each other to make Singapore a kinder place for everyone, including LGBTQ Singaporeans.
When we unveil our digital light up later, I really, really hope to see the love and support beaming from all corners of Singapore. You know, last year's virtual light up was very, very special to me, and I cannot wait to see this year's virtual light up.
Yeah. So when we were at Hong Lim Park, we always end the Pink Dot concert with an explosive number by our drag queens. But wait, before.
What's going on? What's going on?
Before introduce drag queen.
Oh my Lord, what is happening?
This is part 2 of my costume. Bobby Luo. This is how I introduce.
What? There's a giant eye in the middle.
Yeah. This is my queer eye. Get it? Get it? Looking out for discrimination and equality. Right. Okay, last year we brought to you our very first music video of the Queens of Singapore. This year, 9 Singapore Queens are back in an even more epic music video.
That's right. Our Singapore Queens are back this year with a music video that is very, very Singapore. Everybody, please enjoy the Singapura Queens. Can't wait.
Masyhur di seluruh dunia. Lihatlah bila malam jaya terang serta berwarna-warni. Oh Singapura Jaya.
my God, Becca, you rode that dragon.
Becca, finally something big enough for you to ride. Did you get the drag-on dragon thing?
I know. But please, you have to return the dragon to Toa Payoh now. Okay, Becca? Oh my goodness, what an epic video. Epic.
Correct, right? Now you know where I wear this like that,
Yes,
right? I must
correct.
introduce the video like that, right?
You put on already, cannot take off. Just leave
like
it there
that.
now. Dingle,
Alamak,
dangle,
alamak.
like that. Okay. Oh my God, epic video. Thank you so much everyone for registering for the virtual light up. Registrations are now closed and the Pink Dot team is now very busy. There's a lot of chaos. Y'all cannot see behind the camera. A lot of chaos. They are busy compiling your messages, and when I get the go ahead, we will count down to our virtual light up. Okay, so you will let me know, right? Jun Feng will let me know. That's right.
Correct.
Okay.
So now got time, and I promise our friends at Pink Fest to do a shout out
Pink
for
Fest.
some of our online events.
Okay, tell us.
First, there is Proud Pet Parade. Not me, not this one-eyed
Not your
monster.
Doraemon,
Not my Doraemon,
Yeah,
lah. Okay. Think of it as a pet show meets drag race.
I see. So Momo, the cat, can take part.
Momo!
Remy, your dog husky, can take part also. Okay. And it will be hosted by Audrey Luo next Saturday on Facebook Live. The judges will be Sarah Benjamin Huang, whom I love, Derek Ang from Voices from Animals, and Hosan Leong will also be one of the judges.
And up for grabs is like over $1,000 in cash, in total prize money, staycations, lots of pet-friendly swag, and the deadline for entries have been extended to next Monday, 14th of June at 12 p.m.
Yes, and there is also Queers Got Talent! It's an online talent show with competition categories ranging from dancing to lip syncing to mass couture.
And you're one of the judges, right?
I am indeed. I will be judging together with my Dim Sum Dolly sister, Selena Tan, and also Najib Ali! Also Patrina Kao, Joshua Simon, and the beautiful Andrea Razali.
Queers Got Talent will be hosted by Drag Race Thailand's Pangina Heels on the last Saturday of June on Facebook Live. Again, prizes include $1,000 in cash for Best Show, cocktail kits, and Sephora coupons to be won.
Yes, very, very good. And the thing about doing this on Zoom is that we can actually get Pangina in, without flying Pangina in. So entries for Queers Got Talent will close on the 18th of June. So to find out more, please go to pinkfest.sg. Okay? Are we ready? Okay, I don't know. I'm looking now for the go ahead. Do we have a go ahead yet? We have a go ahead. Yay! Wu Junfeng says we can go ahead. Okay, everybody, your own self, torchlight by yourself. Okay, so like in Hong Lim Park, we will count from 10 to 1, and then we're going to scream Pink Dot very loudly, and then we are going to see on screen what the virtual light up looks like this year, and how pink is going to make Singapore. Okay. Are we ready? Yes. Okay, everybody, let's go. Okay. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pink Dot! Oh my goodness! Nice! Woo!
Wow!
Nice. Okay, let's see. Oh my goodness! That is very, very pink. Very, very pink. Oh, I wish I could see where this is at. Oh, super pink.
I wish I could zoom in.
Paleba. And Tanglin.
Okay, Novena. Hello, Novena.
Hello, Queenstown.
Yeah, wow.
Yay!
Oh my goodness. Congratulations. Thank you everyone
Hey, actually,
for being
does it-
part of this digital light up.
Okay, to you, does that look like the same as last year's? Like,
No lah, wake up. It's a lot brighter.
Is it brighter?
It's like so much more light.
Brighter. Okay, brighter.
Thank you everyone for being part of Pink Dot's digital light up. That was just so amazing.
Yes. Thank you. And now you can take the time to read all the messages of love slowly. So we're coming to the end of this year's edition of Pink Dot. You know, singing has been banned on stage. Can you imagine? I mean, next to the virus, then the next most dangerous thing is hugging and singing. Walao. You know what I mean? It has been banned on stage. But you can definitely sing at home. Okay, so everybody together, we will now join together with Apex Project and sing this year's song, True Colors. Sing along.
See your true colors shining through. I see your true colors. That's why I love you. So don't be afraid to let them show your true colors. True colors. You're beautiful like a rainbow. I see your true colors. You with the sunrise. Don't be discouraged. Oh, I realize it's hard to take courage in a world full of people. You can't lose sight of it all. The darkness inside you can make you feel so small. Show me a smile then. Don't be unhappy, can't remember when I last saw you laughing. This world makes you crazy, and you've taken all you can bear. Just call me up, and I will always be there. Yeah. I see your true colors shining through. See your true colors. That's why I love you. So don't be afraid to let them show your true colors. True colors. True colors. True colors. You're beautiful. Beautiful. I see your true colors shining through. I see your true colors. That's why I love you. So don't be afraid to let them show your true colors. True colors. You're beautiful like a rainbow.
Hey, we have formed Pink Dot again. Congratulations, everyone. We just want to thank everyone who was involved in this year's live stream.
Yes, we want to thank all our performers.
And we want to thank every director and their production crew who produced every video that you saw.
We would also like to thank our sponsors and countless volunteers who stood by us and lent a helping hand even in these very, very difficult times. So thank you.
And we want to thank James. Hi, thank you,
Hi,
James.
James. Thank you.
Thank you so much. This live stream is a labor of love. And we really hope that this live stream brought you some warmth and some love tonight. Let's continue to be there for one another. And we hope that when things get better, we will be able to see all of you in the flesh. Thank you, everyone. Good night.
Good
Happy Pink Dot.
night. Happy Pink Dot. Mwah, mwah, mwah. Love you.
Bye. See you soon.
serta berwarna-warni. Oh Singapura Jaya.
Think you're a fierce. Why you think you're fierce? Cause you paid $10 to get number one in my clothes. Queen asked me the other day, was it? Told me, so you think you're fierce? I said I'm queen.
Can you hear that? Drama. Queen. Can you hear that? Drama. I'm giving you pose, contour nose. I'm giving you hits, I'm giving you life. I'm giving you shade, I'm giving you tints. I'm giving you face, I'm giving you lace. Fronts. I'm giving you pose, contour nose. I'm giving you hits, I'm giving you life. I'm giving you shade, I'm giving you tints. I'm giving you face, I'm giving you lace. Fronts. Now hit me live.
I think I'm fierce. This thing I am. Honey, I'm Vanessa Williams, Catwoman, and Jessica Rabbit. Rolled into
Now hit me
one.
live.
Touch this skin, darling. Touch this skin, honey. Touch all of this skin. Okay?
Now hit me live. I-F-E. Come on, bitch, keep up with me. Ladies with an attitude. Now vogue. Fellas that were in the mood. Now rap. Don't just stand there, let's get to it. Now walk.